Respect. RESPECT. That is what it means to me. Yes, it's a wonderful song by Aretha Franklin. And it is definitely very upbeat and in tune to dance to. But what is respect? Have you ever taken the time to really delve into what is respect? I think a lot of times we don't talk about these topics that really impact us. We talk about them when it's in the negative terms. You hear people definitely speaking about disrespect, but do you ever talk about what respect is? And I had the pleasure of interviewing a variety of individuals this month. They had no clue what I was going to ask them. Their answers are incredible. You'll get to hear them at the end of this process. However, I don't think anyone has a complete answer to what respect is. Respect is, for me, from what I've learned, from what I've been able to study, is how you like to be treated. Yet, that is so unique to the culture that you have grown up with, the things that you have uh, allowed yourself to be exposed to. So, when we're talking about respect, the other person cannot read your mind. The other person cannot tell what respect means to you. The only way to do that is for you to know yourself well and be able to communicate it. But it's also about being able to understand the other individual that you're speaking with, being able to understand where they are coming from, what their values are. So, communication is a very big key in respect so that people know what that means to you and how you like to be treated and how do they like to be treated. But when we're talking about places like it's a public setting and someone is speaking to you in a way that you feel is demeaning or that is not right for you, there are several things you can do. You can definitely remain calm and let them know that the way that they're speaking to you feels that it's not very respectful, but is that the normal way that they speak? And being able to say that sometimes will let someone take a deep breath and be aware of how they're showing up. It also means that you have given them the opportunity to really think about how are they coming across? And for you to really know, are they disrespecting you or are they simply not aware that they're showing up in a certain way towards you? Those are little things to be very mindful of as you talk about respect. But respect is really not all encompassing. Across the world, this world is so vast with so many wonderful cultures again that the best way for us to begin to understand respect is to understand what humans are about, what each individual is about. When it comes to personal relationships, communication again is the key for respect. And if you're communicating with a partner and they're not reciprocating what you're asking, you have to ask yourself, am I really allowing this to continue because I'm not upholding what I'm asking them to do? Or are they not able to comprehend what you're asking of them? So the more that you can open up the lines and really begin to talk to each other, not at each other, to each other, the more that you're able to see, are there ways for you to become a lot better at respecting each other? And it's so funny. You cannot define the word respect without saying it, but it's about the way that you feel when someone is speaking to you and the way that they feel as they speak to you. Although they don't have control of how you feel, they don't have any option of making you feel a certain way. That comes from within you. Again, it goes back to your upbringing, it goes back to your own thought process, and understanding that there are so many different ways in this world. So, the best way that we can continue to work on respect is to continue to communicate better, to continue to open up, understanding the various cultures, but knowing that there is basics to how people need to be treated. I know that in the world we think of as humanity and treating people in a proper way is one form of respect, meaning that we don't all of a sudden expect someone else to have to go by our own set of rules all the time. There are billions of people in this world, and we all have the right to be here and to express ourselves, but being aware that the way we express ourselves does not give us the right to inflict on someone else all our own judgments and thinking. That's where disrespect comes in. So opening up those lines of communication and really continuing to talk about this is the key. I could sit here for hours and talk about respect. I have listened to so many videos of a variety of leaders that talk about it, and there was not a one way to define it. But communication is key. And really, don't put yourself in the victimhood mode that someone else can make you feel a certain way. The only way they can do that is by you not communicating to them how you like to be treated and hearing them out and understanding them. So please enjoy the rest of these interviews and take the time to really figure out what respect is to you and talk about it. Talk about it with your friends, talk about it with your colleagues, talk about it with your partners so that we have better communication lines so people understand where each of us have our own values and judgment so we can get rid of some of the judgment and really begin to open up communication. Enjoy these.
Respect? Good question. Respect is understanding and compassion for what other people think.
Respect is treating someone with integrity. I think it's respecting their integrity and honoring another person, seeing them with true love and through your eyes, through my own eyes. When I respect someone, and I respect anyone's opinion, I may not agree with it, but it's honoring their truth.
I love this question. Respect to me is integrity. It's understanding that we all want and need and require something and adjusting to that to make sure that the other person or their values are being acknowledged and adhered to and upheld. So it's this sort of thing where you have to be sure that this is a deep question. This is amazing. I was not expecting this, but I love this question because it's so necessary for us to really be able to acknowledge it and seek it and appreciate it when we get it. Because when you appreciate respect, you get more respect.
Respect is something that we should give to one another. It is very, very important. So regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of your race, regardless of situation, respect is very, very important. That's what I think about respect.
Treating people how they want to be treated. To me, respect is not necessarily treating people how you think you should be treated, right? But more or less how you know they want to be treated. I think that's a piece that we miss sometimes. And we talk to people or treat people in a way that we're comfortable with, but it's not a way that they're comfortable with.
My first thought was a song by Aretha Franklin. Respect is caring and understanding for someone's situation and treating them like a human being. It's a basic thing to give to people.
Ooh, respect. Respect is appreciating someone's humanity. Respect is loving, however that looks. Respect is also receiving. Respect is connection.
What is respect? Respect looks different in different places and in different contexts. Yes. But respect for me means you see me, you hear me, and you allow me to be. Even if you don't agree with what I've said, and even if you probably don't like me for no reason, you allow me.
Wow. Respect can be the biggest gift you can give to yourself. Respect has everything to do with understanding who you are, what's important to you, giving yourself respect. So everywhere you walk is the gift that you give to others. The respect that you have for yourself is what you can give to others, and the respect that you can demand from others is what you've taught yourself. Respect is the way you show up in your attitude, in your mannerisms, in your friendships. It's understanding that you have a value and a worth about you, and you step forward knowing that, believing that, acting that, walking that. For me, I think respect, self-respect, is the biggest gift in a woman's toolbox. Once you have self-respect, everything else that starts with self-discipline, self-worth, self-belief, self-confidence, it all starts by you having respect for yourself.
Wow. Gosh, a lot of personal development, because I think the way I was taught growing up, respect was demanded. And it was not just demonstrated in the way that it was demanded. And so I think it took me a lot of years to realize what true respect and then integrity and having authenticity is, and speaking my truth. And so I respect others' truths. When I interview people, I think it's having that having curiosity and inquiry without judgment.
I learned to respect my parents. My parents and grandma, they made sure that if, one of us was sleeping, the others would be, a little quieter, not wake them up. And that's respecting someone's sleep, respecting someone's, downtime. And, if someone's eating, you don't interrupt them eating. You respect that this is their nourishment time. So these little examples of respecting when someone is doing something that is necessary for them were little seeds of respect, of learning respect throughout. And then as I got older, I learned respect by being disrespected. I mean, truth. When a boyfriend disrespected me, I realized what my boundary was. And that was a boundary that was created and one that needed to be upheld. So, unfortunately, sometimes we have to learn the hard way. But that's the only way to really, I keep wanting to use the word respect, but that's the question. I can't answer the question with the word in it, right? Did we learn that in English class? You can't. I'm like, another word for respect. I feel like it's not my adjective, my thesaurus.
I think it came to me in a myriad of ways. Obviously, my parents both taught me respect, and my two step parents, my stepmom and my stepdad, also taught me respect. But I also think that I think what true respect is from working with children, and seeing the humanity in children and understanding that they're just little humans and they deserve to be treated in the ways that they require.
From my parents. They respected me, so I respected them, and through everything they put me in terms of extracurriculars, everything was about respect and respecting the people around me.
Through experiencing it, through knowing what it's not, and then understanding what it is. Respect isn't about fear. Respect isn't about control. Right? Respect is about appreciation, gratitude. And when you can sit in that, you know what it is.
That's a good question too. Probably through my parents and setting boundaries of what's acceptable and not acceptable, and consequence to when you're little doing something that was disrespectful. Like, I remember specifically going into my great grandmother's house, and she always had animal crackers when we go. And I remember I had to wait for her to offer them. Didn't know that when I was like 5 or 6. I walked in and was like, "Where's the animal crackers? I want my animal crackers." And then I got in big trouble because that was disrespectful to my great grandmother and not letting her give that to me, that I walked in asking for it. So I think that's my first lesson I remember in respect.
I learned respect. I grew up in a big family. And we are very different, each of us, even though we are from the same family. And I think, I mean, back then I didn't think of it that way, but I think growing up in a big family and being different and having a mother who expected us to show, especially the younger ones, to show respect to the older ones, and the older ones to show care to the younger ones, was a form of respect, actually. Even that care was a form of respect. And so I learned respect growing up in a big family.
Did I learn respect? I don't think at any particular time I was taught respect. But after observing life experiences, circumstances, and getting to understand myself, I think maybe my mother taught me, actually. Have some respect. It's a very common thing Ghanaian parents say. Have some respect. Respect your elders. It's something that I understood as a child, that my elders valued. Have some respect for your elders, the way you speak to people, the way you communicate, the way you connect with others. It's always done with respect. Respect is basically another kind of love when I think about it. Respect is another kind of love. So it's kind of like love. Loving yourself, loving others, walking with love, talking with love, communicating with love. It's a tonality. It's hard to put it into. It's a way of being. Being is a way of being. Respect is a way of being. A way of being that says, I know who I am. I like who I am. And I'm going to respect who you are. I think something like that.
Respect is very important, but with respect, I feel it's a mutual thing that is given and received. It's hard to give respect when it's not reciprocal.
And
I don't know how to define it or how to measure it. I mean, I think it's an essential part of communication and connectivity with others and with the world. Because I think today we've probably lost, the way I've defined respect is we've probably lost respect for, or we give different measures or values. I haven't thought of it that way, but I think we have a scale, a grading scale of how much we should respect someone. And I think at the core, if we respect human beings as equals, there shouldn't be a measure.
I think there's a lot of it missing in the world. And if there was more respect, there'd probably be a lot fewer problems than we have right now. I think respect is tremendously important. You know, respect for human life, respect for people's humanity, respect for their feelings and their time. The human
Thank
race
you.
is better.
It depends what you're after in life. But like most people, if your goal or intention is to live the fullness that life has to offer in any domain, either in your personal life or in your professional life, you cannot achieve it without respect. Understanding what respect is for yourself, understanding the importance of respecting others, I think you can achieve your greatest potential in your personal life or your professional life without respect.
In my world, it's very, very important. Because I think respect, you know, when someone, for example, especially in my world where I'm working with a lot of kids and communities, people feel respected, children feel respected if I treat them as human beings who have thoughts and feelings, and whether or not what they have to say match what I have to say, that I see them for who they are, where they are, as they show up. It is important. You get the best out of people when you show them respect. We build communities when people feel respected. We get to build teams when folks feel that you see them and you respect who they are and what they bring.
I think it's critical. I think it's essential to the human connection. Right? If we
Thank
don't
you.
respect one another, how can we be connected? And how can we thrive?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the ability to say that respect is not one thing. And as soon as you say it's a certain something, a certain way of being, and a certain way of doing things that is from your own thought process, that is immediately disrespect. Because our world is so vast, is so encompassing. And when we are talking about respect, we're talking about what has that person learned, been exposed to, seen, that is allowing them to be a certain way, that they say respect to them is a certain something. And for you to be able to really delve into what respect is, the best way to do that is to actually have a conversation, an open conversation, especially when someone says to you, you don't respect me, or you're disrespecting me. For you to come from the curiosity perspective of what does that mean to them? How have they arrived at that conclusion? Because to me, the more you can communicate, the more you can connect with someone and really understand what their psychology, what their beingness is about, how are they measuring things, the more you can actually find a way so that they feel respected, they feel understood. There isn't a one way for respect. However, respect comes from you really learning a lot more about how do people exist? How do people become who they are? Respect is allowing yourself, when you are becoming agitated or heated because somebody is saying something and you go, oh, they're disrespecting me, for you to go, where is that coming from within me? What is it about my upbringing? What is it about the way that I have learned life that allows me to think that they're disrespecting me? And I believe the best way to continue to evolve is for you to really understand yourself so well that you can communicate it better to somebody else. And there isn't someone that is outright going out to disrespect you unless you allow that feeling within you that they have control over you in any way, shape, or form. Because no one does. No one does unless you give them that control. And then you start to feel that you're disrespected. So for me to explain what respect is you learning to allow things to evolve, for you to continue to grow, for you to actually take the time and learn of what that means to you.